Hello, everyone. Hope you guys are doing good and have had a great weekend. If you're from North America, hopefully you guys had a good Mother's Day weekend. What up? What up? As usual, I do my audio check, so just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. Can you guys just make sure you guys let me know? Do I sound okay? Sounds good. Sounds good. Hey. What's going on, game? Breezy, what's going on? Jimmy, hello. Thanks for the kind words to start off the stream tonight, guys. Cosmos, Armani, Ibrahim, Johnny, Eso, Jason Trades, what's going on? Joseph, Stange, what's going on, man? Or Stan. I've totally just butchered your name there, bro. What's going on, Jezza? Travel was good, man. What's going on, Christopher? Travel was good. I was just in another province, just scoping out some things for personal and for business. So I have a client that's looking to expand across the country. So starting to scope out some things just to see if anything looks good, you know? What's going on? What's good, brother? What's going on, David? Woozy. Yo, Green, I'm already done for the night. Right on, man. That's the way to go, man. Honestly, the way that the open off the open for Tokyo, it pretty much set it up for us, right? I mean, I feel like I feel so repetitive to say this, but it's been like this for us honestly for the past probably 2 weeks now. By the time we get to this point on the stream, we are pretty much in the middle of the range again, as usual, right? So it is what it is, though, right? What do you do? What is it? What do you do? Mother's Day for me, man. My whole family's sick right now. Unfortunately, both my kids are sick. My wife is like brutally sick. So just playing the role of caretaker actually this weekend. I can feel myself getting sick too because obviously I'm surrounded by them, right? So it's inevitable that I'm gonna get sick by them as well. It's gone, Leo. Hey, night, right on, low melty. Way to go. What do we think about NQ? I'm gonna go through that in a bit here, but we're definitely I mean, we've established our highs and lows for the range. I mean, you can see here already, and I'm going to go through that in a little bit here with the gang to make sure that you guys are all on the same page. Just loading a couple things up. I'm actually going to start up an account. I'm going to start up an account with funded next futures. We'll see what the night looks like here. I mean, if I got the time to, I'm probably just going to hop on the website and scoop up an account. 550K. I mean, you can't really beat the select accounts, David. I know growth accounts are not the same as I remember them from when I used to trade growth accounts. So I think honestly the select plans are the best, which are the blue pill, red pill ones. Um, if they're still doing the 40% off, it's kind of hard to beat the lightning funded for 50Ks are a pretty good deal. I mean, I guess it really comes down to like how much you got in your pocket because $250 for a straight to funded 50K account is pretty solid. I mean, if you buy 5 of those accounts with 40% off, and then I think there's an additional 3 to 5% discount on top for buying in a batch of 5. That's like under $1,200, $1,300. So that's a pretty good deal to be honest. So I would totally recommend those if you have the pockets for it. Otherwise, the select plans are solid, man. 150K select plans, they're pretty banging. It's hard to ignore on those. Johnny, congrats, man. That's freaking amazing. Way to go. Way to go in securing that for the night. Are you live in the Discord? Like right now, I'm live. I mean, I'm on YouTube right now. I'm in terms of Discord wise. I post periodically there when I'm taking trades throughout the day when I can signal. I'm usually on the road a lot for business. So for those who are just kind of hopping on and checking me out for the first time, I'm a pretty well-rounded person. I'm an entrepreneur first and trader actually second. Believe it or not, even though I have honestly had some monumental successes these past couple of years. But yeah, I'm a business person first. So a lot of times during the middle of the day and what have you, I'm working with restaurant clients and those type of things. That's so yeah, I try to signal what I can in the Discord, but it's not gonna be always the case. Like I signaled the gold trade earlier on that worked out pretty damn well. I think it was on about 4.6 R in total on that initial pull down. And I'm not even talking about the I'm not even talking about that major sink on gold earlier. Which one did I look at? Oh yeah, this one. I'm not even talking about this big push down afterwards. I actually, or this push down afterwards. It was actually this entry right here that I signaled. I'll talk a little bit more about it later on, but that was the trade that I took earlier on. And welcome to Project 365, guys. By the way, if this is your first time hopping in, as usual, I think for those who've been around long enough know the drill here. 200 thumbs up equals a 50K account giveaway. And for tonight, we will be giving away a Take Profit Trader account, guys. That's what we'll be giving away, Take Profit Trader account. So if you haven't already, drop a thumbs up on the stream for sure. Let's get the ball rolling here, gang. I'll go over the trade review on the NQ and all that stuff in just a bit here. Just going to catch up with the chat here. Yo, what's going on, TD? What's the code for the discounts? Code RT, code RAKE. So depending on what prop firm you're using, code RAKE works for almost all of them. And if code RAKE for some odd reason doesn't work, code RT. You can see at the top of the banner there, that's the discount code. And so right now for Tradeify, they're doing 40% off on all of their accounts right now. That's hence why I suggested this trade to funded. But honestly, their select plans are pretty banging. Can't really ignore those. Absolutely. I'm just catching up the chat. We do have giveaways. We will be giving away a Take Profit Trader account tonight. And if we get enough streams up and going today, man, I don't know. We'll see how much time we got. Maybe we might do another one as well. So we'll see. Yeah, David, I mean, the 150Ks are pretty banging for the street to fund. It is a lot more expensive if you're going for 150K though, like versus the 50K. I only mentioned the 50 just because like, for the drawdown to profit and the cost of the accounts, they just made a lot of sense. But price wise, I mean, the select plans are the cheapest, right? So you can't go wrong with that from a budget perspective. I'd say go with whatever route you think is going to give you the best mentals, because if you feel like blowing those accounts potentially, or the fear of blowing those accounts will be a problem for you, then yeah, just go with the select accounts, man. I mean, I don't think it's good for us to apply unnecessary pressure to ourselves when taking these prop accounts. What's going on, Jake? No, Melty, Sanshin, good to see you guys, man. Good to see you. I'm actually just going to grab myself a drink really quickly here, just before we get started. As usual, I think anyone who's been on this knows I always got some food or dessert or something. I actually got a lot in my fridge right now, so I'm just going to peck away at the things as I go. But I am going to grab a drink. I'll be right back, okay, guys? Be right back. Actually, I'll put a text here just in case anyone who hops in the stream wondering where the heck I went. BRB, grabbing drink. Oh, all right. Hey, what's good, Jerzen? The first of many things for tonight, man. I had to get orange juice for my kids because they're not feeling great, and I forgot to pack their waters when I went to drop off a Mother's Day gift for my mom. So I went to the drive-through McDonald's, got them some orange juice, and they just sold me this Sprite Berry Bliss. I don't know if they exist in the US, but they have it in Canada right now. These are actually, surprisingly, this is pretty good. But honestly, because of how much flavor it has, it makes me wonder how much stuff is in this thing. So it's probably not good for you. Out the way, you know it, man. You know it. I'm always sipping something, man. I'm always sipping something. All right. I am going to go through a quick trade review with the gang here, just to talk a little bit about how we are doing. I'm going to go through bar by bar, or I should say not bar by bar. I'm going to go through all the different time frames and talk about the NQ and gold. A very low expectation, guys. Don't want to sound repetitive, but I think this is where part of, if there's anything for you guys to take away in a lot of these streams that I have with you guys, is just the amount of education that I can provide and calibration of expectations and mindset because I know all of us when we hop on we turn on our charts, we always think that there's always going to be a trade. And true or not, I mean, I guess it really depends on what kind of trader you are. If you're a scalper, you probably will find a trade every part of the market you can. Um, but most people aren't like that, right? So I think it's important that we know that when we hop on, sometimes it just isn't a trade. And so tonight might be a lot of conversations. I don't know. Or like I kind of mentioned last time, maybe I scalp the crap out of the market because there's really no follow through. If we're in the middle of the range, it's just not ideal, right? So we'll talk a little bit about that. Um, $4 in the US. So Lil Melty, do you have these drinks right now as well? This Sprite Berry Bliss? I didn't know if this was just in Canada or not. Yeah, smash the like button, guys. What's going on, Joseph? Eog, what's going on? Mobag, say hey, what's going on, man? Contrad, what's going on? Good morning. I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. Just pushing through here, Family's been sick, so I've been like, I'm just tired, just because I'm obviously making sure everyone's good, but I still got a lot of work to do. Right, no rest for the wicked. Lightning funded account with Tradeify does have a consistency rule. It's 25%, I think it was, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's 25 or 20%. It's one or the other. But then, nevertheless, though, I mean, that's pretty standard for Lightning funded accounts, actually, in most cases. Ali, what's going on, brother? I know. I hope they get better. I mean, honestly, I'm feeling it. Like I feel like I'm getting it now, which it's like if there's any person in this household that can't go down, it's me. But I'll tell you right now, no matter how messed up I am, I will do everything in my power to show up on stream, even if it means that I'm gonna be like literally knocking back Buckleys while I'm on stream with you guys. Hello, hello. What's going on, gang? So gold's been kind of pushing down here. I'll start with gold, guys. This is probably going to be the trade review I'll start with first here, and I'll just talk about the trade that I took earlier, right? So first and foremost, I think we can see here we obviously haven't really moved much on gold. We've just been kind of like hovering within this range. I took a short trade on gold earlier today, actually, and I'll explain a little bit of the reason why. So as you can kind of see here, oops, 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 oops. What did I just do? As you can see here off the open, we gapped down and we had a big push up, right? Followed by a big push down. What did we do after that? We ranged. Now we held above Globex for the most part fairly well, right? But what we saw here was that we tested the high of day here, almost depending on what time frame you're looking at. You can see this as like a double top. On the 2-minute time frame, it looks kind of like a triple top. Why do I say triple top? I'll just kind of point this out, right? 1, 2, 3. Okay, we'll just call it that 2-minute time frame, right? Obviously, every time frame is going to be a little different. I'm just going to say double top because if you're trading on higher time frames, you'll see that. We basically double topped here and we had a big push down beneath VWAP. After that, we paused exactly where I expected us to, bottom of the range, right of the day, Globex, we pulled up. At this point in time, based on multi-time frame analysis and also the bar setups, using VWAP as a kind of an additional conviction as well, you can see here that we had a really nice, a lower high setup right beneath the VWAP. After this 2-minute bar, I actually entered on this candle right here, and I shorted the gold. And so basically here, I put about 2.8 points about worth of risk, and I did signal this in this Discord as well. If you took this trade, and I'll just put this as the disclaimer, right? I was in the middle of showering my kid while doing this, so probably like I don't think I recommend this for most people. Probably not the greatest idea. Like probably should have been able to take profit a little bit sooner. And I'm saying this because on this trade, 2R hit pretty quickly actually on this trade. And so the full brunt of this move was about 4.6R that could have been captured. And just to give you guys an idea of what that essentially would have looked like, would have been like this, right? Sorry, my magnet's like playing tricks with me here. Let's be about right there, right? And yeah, we basically had a pretty sharp move down here. You can see here about 4.6. If you see at the forecast here, right here, 4.6R, right? That's what we had, right? And so I was in between trying to update the chat as much as I possibly could. But obviously, bathing a kid, one hand, only you can do so much, right? I did end up getting stopped out. I moved it into profit at the very least though, because again, I wasn't expecting too much follow through on the given night. So I moved my stop loss to 1R. But anyone who would have followed that trade, again, your rules, depending on what you would have looked for, easy 2R would have been locked in. Like within minutes, you would have gotten 2R, right? 3R, beautiful. To be perfectly honest, by 3R, usually if I'm like managing a trade, I'll usually trim or I'll close off by that point because I'm generally pretty content, especially over the Asia session. I don't have that expectation for those really massive moves, right? And it moved as far as 4.6R. So to be perfectly honest, man, like if I was like sitting at my desk, I probably would have just like closed it out or would have like hovered that even tighter, right? But I had my stop loss for 1R, so I did get stopped out, as you can see, because price did end up retracing back up. Um, and again, one of those moments where I was glad that I did move my stop loss to 1R based on the way the market was moving, because I would have gone stopped out, as you can see here, with this big push up, and then it would have literally sank right back down afterwards, right? So I can imagine mentally I probably wouldn't have done too well seeing that take place. So just want to note that obviously that happened and that took place. So that was a trade that I took on shorts on gold. Now I'm going to zoom out a little bit here and take a look at the bigger picture. And if you guys are dropping questions in the chat, I will get to them. I promise. Everyone here knows that I do a pretty good job of answering all the thousands of questions you'll throw my way, because I'm trying to offer as much education as I possibly can on these streams when I hop on. So anyways, so gold. Let's just start off with the weekly time frame. So we're opening up as an inside bar on the weekly time frame. Although we finished off as a weekly, failed to go lower, bullish candle. I don't like that we opened in the middle, right? I mean, if we gapped up, it would have been beautiful. I would look for longs for sure, but we gapped down and we're holding in the middle as well. So honestly, just naturally, I'm thinking gold is going to be like a little bit of an inside day to start. Now, obviously, this is only the weekly time frame, so take it for a grain of salt. It's literally it's been 7 hours since the market has opened, so can't really tell what's going to happen just yet, right? On the daily time frame as well, we opened up, and right now we're bearish, right? I mean, I think that if we can break the lows here of the prior day, we have probability of moving further down. So this is where we talk about managing expectation, right? Like if I was going in with some micros on MGC, I probably would trim, 2R, 3R, 4R. That's probably how I would personally manage it. Part of me is thinking that maybe I will take MGC today just for the demonstration purposes of trimming, because I think that a lot of traders generally trade micros, and honestly, probably for the better. Because I obviously, when I'm trading minis, I can't really do that. I don't know. We'll see what the night looks like here, right? But in terms of the daily time frame right now, it's quite indecisive. Like I said, we could very much just put a pause bar in here. We don't know yet. But I am looking for the break of the lows just based on what we're looking at right now. And then if I were to take a look in the hourly time frame, every single hour has been bearish, pretty much from my initial short entry. If I would have just held, obviously, and had a much wider stop loss, I'd still be in this trade. But I don't have interest, right? I think that like personally for me, when I trade the Asias and the London session, I take a piece of the market and I'm very happy with that. I don't personally look for large moves. On the New York session, I'd be more attest to looking for 100-point moves, but not during these sessions. I just don't think it makes a whole lot of sense. So right, so that's what we're looking at right now. Moving on to the 5-minute time frame, you can see here that again, we're just pretty much ranging at this point, right? Looks like we're just hovering beneath the bottom range, but this is so tricky for me. I know some people were like, oh, maybe we should short here because we're not breaking back above. I mean, I think this is pretty dicey for me to like really speculate on that. If anything, I'd be kind of interested to see if it comes back up to test Globex, maybe even spike the VWAP and maybe come back down after the fact. We'll see. So expectation, as always, I have multiple, right? I'm overall would like to see us break the lows and come down towards this channel area. So I don't know where the entry will be just based on what things look like. What would this look like here? Yeah, if we had the setup for this, I'd be open to something like that. I think that'd be fairly reasonable, to be honest, right? To shoot down towards this level area. I think that would, like, if I had runners, I might leave a runner past this, but if I don't close out before this level, then I think I'm pushing my luck personally. I don't like to be a prick for a tick either, so if I was doing this, I probably wouldn't go right for the level. I'd probably have a point or two above it just to play it safe. And then otherwise, I'd probably look to trade this range, man. Like this is you've been hearing me say this a lot these past few streams, but it's true. Like if you looked at gold today, you literally could just scalp the range back and forth, and you could have passed accounts just by doing that. Now I know that's not everyone's style, so maybe for some people that may be like, hell no, I will never do that. That's obviously fine, but I'm just honestly trying to speak to the variety of diversity traders that are out there, because yeah, I think there are different kinds out there, right? Um, but yeah, that's a little bit about gold right now. And then I'll kind of hop in straight into the NQ. Probably should delete that. I'm not grabbing my drink anymore. So yeah, let's go look at the NQ. I haven't traded the NQ yet today. Obviously, it is no surprise we are just freaking rocketing, right? So, as always, when I'm seeing the chart do this, I'm open to taking shorts, but they're gonna be very low expectation shorts. Like I'm talking like if I can get 1 or 2 R, I'm walking. And I know sometimes you'll see those really sharp move down, and you're like, Alan, you should have held for more. I I just don't have the appetite to short for larger moves right now over the NQ when we're in all time high. Like it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, right? I'd rather ride the trend. If there's anything in the years of trading that I have learned the hard way is do not fight the trend. I have back in the days when I used to trade options a lot, I've lost so much capital fighting the trend. So just play with what you got, right? It's not every day that you're gonna have trend moves like this, right? I mean, look at the chart, man. Like you could just see it's not common that you get periods like this, right? When you think about this period right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We had 20 weeks of range, guys. 20 weeks of range, right? So when you finally get a trend, don't be stubborn. Don't fight the trend. Don't fight the damn trend. The trend's there, all right? And then you look back later on, right? When we had this nice move up before, same thing. Now, if you look in the past here, again, you get a lot of like ranging markets throughout the weeks, right? So all I'm saying is that we haven't had a move this strong in a very long time. So don't fight the trend. Um, I think it's important for us as traders just to have maybe alternatives and plans for that. For a short trade, like I said, if I'm shorting, I will have low expectations. I won't look for big moves, but longs are probably going to be the ones that I'm more open to holding, right? What we've seen in the past week over this period of the stream is that the follow through doesn't happen until after London opens, unfortunately. And so because of that, I can't demonstrate to you guys how I would even enter and hold the trade, because the only way I can do that is if I maybe enter at the top or bottom of the range and have a wide stop loss, right? Which, I don't know, again, not my really cup of tea, but if you've paid attention these past few streams as well, the trades that I've talked about end up happening after the London opens, especially after the hour, right? Last stream, if you guys remember, I talked about a gold trade, and I think it was a gold short trade, right? And literally an hour after, we sunk. I think we sunk like 20 some points or something like that. Like it was a larger move, right? So just something to kind of keep in mind. And that's why I always say that even if we don't take the trades that I talk about on this stream, it doesn't mean it doesn't bear weight on the next session or the following. And so I think I always, process like that too. And for those who are new hopping on to Project 365, welcome. I have usually the stream that has the ability to talk to you guys the most, I would believe, based on just the slower price action. And I think that right now, when we talk from page to page, the sessions are setting up the next one, and it's quite evident when we look at the multi-time frame analysis, right? And sorry, I went off a little, not off topic, but I rambled a little bit there. Looking at the daily time frame, same thing, right? Like right now, we're obviously trying to break the highs of the prior day, right? And we're struggling. Something that I've also been saying a lot in these past streams has been fake breakouts. We've been having a lot of fake breakouts. So if that hasn't been beaten into your mind just yet from me saying these over and over and over again, like come on, right? Because I wouldn't be surprised if some of you guys may have potentially got burnt today trying to trade the breakout on all-time highs. But unfortunately, it did what it's been doing literally for the past few weeks, and I've been saying it over and over again, fake outs, right? And so in those moments when we have those fake outs, you have an opportunity to decide. You take the trade for longs and risk it. You short the fake out because it's obviously not work following through. Or maybe in the end of the day, you just step aside, right? Ron and I both kind of talk about this a lot. Sometimes cash is your best position, right? So it's okay to just stand on the sidelines, right? And so for those, again, I know I can see chat messages coming through. I will answer your questions. I'm just going to finish this kind of breakdown here quickly first. On the hourly time frame, similar right now. It's quite indecisive. You can see here that bear bars are not having follow through, bull bars are not having follow through. So At this point in time, again, it's quite evident we are ranging even on the hourly time frames right now. Obviously, we're betting on a breakout, but we're not getting that just yet. This is that fake breakout that I was talking about earlier. You can see here it looked like we were going to break out, but we didn't. And if you trade like smaller time frames, you probably really got tricked, because like you see this, right? You're like, okay, it's pushing, bam. And then after you see this big bar coming, you're like, oh, maybe that's just a sweep of buyers or sellers before we move higher. And then literally up here, as price start to peak above, you're thinking to yourself, okay, this is it. We're gonna break. And then literally right afterwards, it just sank, and it sank hard. And this was the Tokyo Open afterwards, right? So when we had our Tokyo Open back here, it set us up to launch obviously up with all that volume, and then we got faked out and sank right back down. So this is that fake out stuff I keep talking about. It's been happening again and again and again. If you guys haven't seen the pattern, there's a pattern, guys. There's an absolute pattern. So right now, what am I looking at on the NQ? Well, we got what? We got the all-time highs we're going to pay attention to. And then within this kind of box channel here, this is kind of like this range of consolidation period. We got the VWAP smack dab right in the middle, which makes sense because we're ranging right now, right? We have our Globex opening print that's acting as a support and a resistance, depending on what part of the time we were looking at price. And then we got the level at 29,262 and the channel beneath it. So these are kind of like my reference points throughout this session. And so we can scalp them back and forth. We can try to hold them and use these spots as like stop losses or whatever it may be. But that's pretty much all we've got in front of us right now, right? So that's kind of my 2 cents on both sides of the market. You're asking me right now, I'm bullish on NQ, I'm bearish on gold still. However, with that said, we have expectations and we will have plans for both the longs and the shorts. We just make sure we need to manage our expectations. And yeah, if you don't feel like taking a trade tonight because there's nothing, don't feel the need to. Why force it, right, guys? There's no meaning in that. So anyways, my 2 cents on that. I'm just going to catch up on the chat here. Yes, Ali, man. I got a lot of medicine at home. You can imagine with a big family. I got a drug for every sickness. How's it going, Joshin? Livia, it's good to see you, man. Yeah, drop a like on the stream, gang. Drop a like on the stream. Hey, what's up, Robert? I have my funded set up right now, but I mean, these are not tradable conditions right now. These are examples of, these are like eval conditions where like take the time to pass an eval or whatever it may be if you want to, but like these are not great. That's the reason why like a lot of times I always say because almost every stream someone has asked me this question, Alan, when do you trade actually? So I naturally, if you're talking about like what's the best time, honestly, Ron's period is actually a pretty good period to be trading, because there's a lot of times where Tokyo Open offers a lot of good volume, good setups that gets you a little bit of follow through, and you can get in and out of a trade within the hour. Whereas if you trade any other period of the day after the fact, you're kind of just grinding, right? Especially because we have such strong all-time highs periods that we're in right now. You're just seeing that more and more. So there's that, right? And then same thing with London, right? So I actually feel these past few weeks we see the most pretty much an hour or two after key opening prints, right? Tokyo, London, New York. That's generally where things are at. You can still trade in between all of that, but you just got to have your expectations managed, right? So greetings, Zen Trader. What's going on? Hey, Daniel. Yeah, 100%. What is this? Brendan Blue. I'm sorry, I don't know when you asked that question, but I think depending on when you message that, I'm looking at NQ right now. So, hey, big boy. Good, man. I mean, I spent the weekend just catching up. I was like, if you guys have me on Instagram, you probably already know. It's been a crazy, hectic week for me. Weekend's been just trying to catch up. I had my wedding anniversary was also this past weekend as well. So it was technically a wedding anniversary and also a Mother's Day at the same time. But unfortunately, my wife is so sick right now, so it's not been the best for her. We'll have to call it a rain check. So right now, I'm just kind of taking care of the family while everyone's been sick. What's going on, Rye Guy? Hey, AG. Yeah, it broke into all-time highs, but again, depending on when you took that trade, right? So as I made the comment is that what people are looking for when we're breaking all-time highs, we're looking to have a clean break. This is a fake out, right? This is not like I want to make that very clear. If you think this is considered a clean break, it's not. This is very much a fake out. So yes, did price move above all-time high? It did, but that's not a clean break though. Yeah, Bulgy. I know sometimes that's the worst. You feel the need to chase the trade after the fact, but after you log in all your credentials and everything, you've already missed the move. So it's a little bit tough. And yeah, CPI with CPI and all that type of stuff too, it is definitely going to make an impact on whether or not we're going to follow through in the market. 100%. 100%. Where'd my little thing go? Did I delete it by accident? Got to leave that there for the gang. What's going on, guys? If this is your first time hopping in the stream, drop a thumbs up, gang. We'll be doing a giveaway as soon as we get to 200 thumbs up on the stream. Okay, guys? We'll be giving away a Take Profit Trader account today. What up, Muscle? See all these constant rejections of this area that I was talking about on gold. We're just not getting follow through though, right? So no follow through, and I guess to be expected. That's what I'm saying, scalping, man. Like at this point in time, it's kind of like just scalping off the rejections with the supports is pretty much all you can really do at this point. Just because there's not a lot that the market's offering right now. So your question, Daniel, about how would you know it's fake out? You don't ever know. And I think that's very important that we always talk about that. We're not here to predict the market. We're here to react. We have game plans and we react to what the market provides us. All I'm saying is that if you know me as a trader, I don't take breakout trades. I just don't. I find that probability wise, I've back tested thousands, and I mean thousands of trades in these past few years. And I find more often than not that breakout trades don't have follow through. So I think that a breakout trade, generally speaking, needs some sort of a signal bar. If you don't have a signal bar, then you're really just risking the biscuit at that point. Again, to each their own, right? If someone who has an edge in trading breakouts, they might disagree with me, and that's totally okay because we all have our own styles of trading, right? I'm just simply saying that, like, if you paid attention, we've been faking out every day this week. So, yeah, statistical probabilities there. Good evening, Pete. Think about switching brokers right now. What do you recommend for someone in Canada? I don't trade futures, mainly just GP and JPY and gold. Honestly, man, I only on the brokers wise, I only trade prop at this point, and options wise, I just trade with my bank. So I don't actually have anything else. Interactive brokers, IBKR is probably one of the most popular in Canada. Actually, I think they're a pretty big name out in the global space as well. So yeah, that would be pretty much it. I don't have enough experience, I guess I should say, to be providing an even thought put in those arena. And yeah, to kind of point with someone in the chat here, scalping gold is the right future to scalp. And I think that's just because like it is worth so much, right? Like the gold can make a 3-point move pretty easily. And you might think like, okay, why is Alan talking about 3-point move? A 3-point move on gold is equivalent to a 15-point move on NQ. So if you think about right now, how often does a 3-point move happen? It's quite often. Like there's lots of opportunities for those, right? But then if you look at NQ, how often does a 15-point move happen? And it's not to say it doesn't happen, but it does take a lot more. Like 15-point moves, it does take a lot more than what gold's offering, right? Like when you think about these ranging conditions, it's not easy to get 15 points, right? It's not easy. It's not to say it's not possible. It's just not as easy. So, do you have any videos of how you backtest or your process of backtesting? I haven't done any videos. Actually, let me think. I'd have to look back on my YouTube videos because I started putting content together like just arbitrarily. Like I didn't really have an agenda. Like my social media is that's the reason why it looks so disorganized, because like there was never like a master plan on how I was going to produce content. I'm not a content creator. I'm a business person by heart. I just literally just shared the journey along the way, and as things came up in my mind and people asked questions, I kind of just pushed stuff out there. I'm actually going to try to put some time into putting some YouTube content this week. I'll try to. Please don't quote me on that. It just really depends on how busy my life is this week. But I know there's a couple things here and there. I've done things where I've talked about journaling and how important journaling is and what to kind of look for. I've done things around like using like arbitrary strategies and talking about probability rates and stuff like. I think I've done some of those as well. I've even talked about like rotating accounts, right? In terms of like why rotating accounts have been such a big thing for me. So I feel like I've done a lot of different kinds of videos, and unfortunately, off the top of my head, I don't remember what I have done because it was literally just me sharing my journey along the way. So there's an archive of stuff in there. What's going on, Ammo? Alan, YM shorts look good. YM. Do I even have Y? Yeah, I do. YM shorts look good. Are you looking at a bear flag? Is that kind of what your thought process is right now? Bear flag continuation. Yeah, I don't trade the YM, so I'm not really not the best. But yeah, I mean, right now, I guess we would be looking for us to hold beneath the Globex opening, right? That's what we would want to see. So maybe as we come into the London Open, we might have an opportunity here to take a short trade. What up, Bernardi? How you doing, man? I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm gonna probably pop out some dessert here in a bit. I've got like 2 cakes that I got to go through. Anyone who lives in Vancouver that's watching the stream right now, 2 places I really recommend for cakes, and I'm talking about them because one, I've been having it for the past 10 years and I always order from them. And another one, I've been actually having it. It's like a lot of people don't know it, but it's actually one of the first cakes that my wife, girlfriend at the time, had when we were dating in our early years. So I've been there's this triple chocolate mousse cake from Sweet Obsession. I've been having that cake for over 20 years, and it's just been a cake I've always ordered. So I have that right now in my fridge that I'm probably going to eat while I'm streaming a bit because it's going to be my sugar to keep me going. But the other place as well is there's a place that's they started off as a communal kitchen. Now they have a bricks and mortar hole in the wall shop. It's called Gary's Patisserie. Their fruit cakes are really good. So if you like durian and you like mango, their cakes are so damn good. Like I have a fresh mango cake that, like, again, you follow me on Instagram, you already know I posted about it on Instagram already. But the mango cake is like banging. So I don't know which cake I'm gonna eat, the mango cake or the triple chocolate mousse cake. But I'm definitely having a slice of cake tonight. So sorry, off topic, but I love food, so thought I'd share. Right on, Cole. Right on. Time for a giveaway. I don't think we're at 200 thumbs up yet, guys. We're not even close. Yeah, we're not even close. We gotta get 200 thumbs up if we want to do a giveaway, gang. Could you please send via chat a link to the video explaining your strategy? Thanks. A video explaining your strategy? I've never produced a video. I talk about it almost on stream every single time, just because it's a lot, right? You guys got to remember that my strategy that I teach my students over the course of 8 hours. So it's not something I could just like blabber on about over a few minutes here. But I trade price action, trend, range, bar by bar. I'm literally surgical about my bar by bar analysis, right? Multi-time frame analysis, level systems, channels, those type of deals, right? So yeah, I also use indicators as conviction when I take my trade setups as well. So just share some of that as well. And Josh, and the cake is so good, so good. I am only streaming on YouTube. That is correct. I am part of Project 365. I am one of 5 hosts on Project 365. So we stream literally every day, 10 hours a day. Even on the weekends, a lot of time, actually, Mr. Jake Ricci himself will do trade reviews and trade thoughts on Saturdays. So we're literally streaming every single day, 7 days a week. And we'll be doing this for the whole year. I think we've done, I think this is week 5 now for us. And we've got like, 47 more weeks to go here. So yeah, I mean, if this is your first time tuning in, definitely drop a like and subscribe to the stream. There will be an endless amount of information that we're going to share, and all of us as hosts have something different to offer, right? And I don't want to speak and speak on behalf of those hosts because every host has something they offer as edge. But some of you guys have probably already seen the level of patience and discipline Ron has, and his ability to be able to willing to hold trades for larger moves. I mean, I think he's had a few trades already in the past few weeks where he's held a trade for like triple digit points overnight, pretty much from Asia entry all the way till New York, right? You got Mitch. The guy's such a like scientist when it comes to reading data in the market. He talks a lot about gamma and all that as well. And so he usually teases up for the pre-market. So if you haven't been there, definitely check it out, right? And then obviously Mr. Jake Ricci himself takes care of the New York Open for us, and he'll actually hop into all of the streams here and there just to kind of banter and chat as well. And then we got our man Christian, who takes care of our power hour before the New York session closes. So yeah, man, we're basically always streaming. There's always something to offer you guys. So definitely check us out. YouTube's our thing. We're not asking for a lot. That's why I don't sound so repetitive that I keep saying please drop a thumbs up. But we're just starting up, right? We're just starting up right now. We're still very small, all things considered. We want to branch out and get out there as much as we can. And so the thumbs up, the subscribers, it really helps us drive the algorithm so we can reach the furthest ends of the earth, right, when it comes to this. So we appreciate you tuning in, and we appreciate you just being a part of the journey with us, man. It's going to be crazy to think about where we will be in a year from now, right? I think that Jake talked about this on actually one of his Instagram. Is like, think about what would happen in your life if you put your all into something and just really drove home with it, right? For a year, consistently. What kind of person would you be at the end of this, right? And that's exactly what Project 365 is going to help us with, is that if we have the ability to, push further, right? And put in the work for the next year, hopefully with all the hosts that are on here between me and the other four, there'll be so much for you guys to take away from us, right? So anyways, my 2 cents on that. I always undersize my winner, but when I'm confident, have high conviction on a trade, I lose most of it, which results in small P&L. Any suggestion? So you always undersize your winners, and when confident and have high conviction on trade, you lose most of it. Samar, could you maybe describe that a little bit more, if you don't mind, for me? And by the way, there's another 3.5 gold scalp right there. That's the reason why I had that forecaster box set up there. Yeah, could you elaborate on that a little bit more for me, if you don't mind, just so I can answer you to the best of my ability? You're new here, FX Hottie. Good to see you, man. Welcome to Project 365. I think you heard me give the spiel already, so I won't go through it again. If you're new, I'd most definitely say come back. This is a great group, and this whole thing is one of a kind. Yeah, thank you, Cole, man. We appreciate it, man. Thank you for being just a continuously supporter of us, right? It makes it all the worth it when we can see that we're making an impact. Do you have any books that you've read that you think either helped most of you change the way you looked at trading and charts? Yeah, I've got a few. So there is so much. There's so much to unpack. I'm actually like looking at my collection because my collection is like above me here right now. There's a lot of different books that you can go for. I think it kind of depends on what type of information you're looking for as a trader. If you really want to just dig deep into technicals, I mean, I can't speak more than enough on Bar by Bar by Al Brooks. And what a sharp move down here. A lot of volume coming into this candle as well on gold. That would have been a beautiful short trade, by the way, guys. What's NQ doing? NQ is getting a little bit of push down as well. Interesting. Sorry, I'm just gonna pause here because I'm gonna take a look at the chart and see what's going on here. Okay. That's an interesting pull down. I don't know if we could get follow through here though, man. Right now, that 4670 level, if you guys probably are familiar with that level because we've had it on there quite a few times, it's a pretty key area to watch. So I'm curious if we're going to break beneath this. You guys heard me make this comment earlier about holding beneath this low at 4682. We had that big spike up to, I guess, maybe take out any stops that might be in the area. And then this big push follow through was pretty crazy. I mean, total 3R move, give or take. Pretty solid on gold there. Sorry, Joshua. Yeah, but anyways, books wise, bar by bar, man. I can't emphasize that one enough. I'll pull them down as well. I know some of you guys have seen them many times before. But give me a second here. So I really like these books. The OG book is partly harder to read. I like these because they're more broken down, reversals, range, and trends. And I like reading these books. I mean, these days I don't have a lot of time to read them as much. Like when I'm on plane rides, I used to be able to pull them out and kind of go through them. But now I find that I've got so much work to do that I don't have the downtime to read that. You know what's another book that's good? And it's not about trading per se, but it's about investing. So I would recommend this as well. If you guys have never heard this book, Changing World Order by Ray Dalio, one of the biggest, he's retired now, but he built one of the largest hedge funds in the world. I really like that book because it really helps you kind of understand economic cycles, and because it helps you, I guess, kind of calibrate the mindset so that you have a better sense of like what the market's doing and why things kind of happen. Again, as always, take it for what you want to take it for, but some opportunities there. How'd you get stuck for this time frame? Cole, it wasn't actually getting stuck. So Jake reached. So for those who don't know, I am a student of the Mastermind. So I was part of Mastermind 6.0. I met Jake Ricci. Technically speaking, I knew of him from my early days when I was in Stock Market Wolves Discord. That's where I actually officially met him and knew of him, but I didn't know him. But I became a student in 2023, I think it was early 2023. I took the Mastermind, and that's when I really started taking it seriously. And so since then, basically I've known Jake for a little while. I met him in New York and all that type of stuff too. Just a good guy. So we've had a good relationship since the Mastermind. So when he reached out to me asking about, like, you know what, he's got this big vision and wanted to ask if I would be willing to partake in this project, he reached out to me at the perfect time. I've been wanting to do something like this, and I just didn't know how to start it because I'm not a social media guy. Again, like I said, I'm very like bricks and mortar restaurant business kind of guy. So it was just kind of two and two together. He asked me what would be the best time slot. As an entrepreneur, family man, all that stuff, I don't have time to be able to do the other sessions as much as I would like to. So this was the perfect session because this is usually when my kids and my wife are all asleep. So this is my only time I can dedicate to you guys. So I specifically picked this time slot, which even though it means I have less sleep, but I love doing this. I love hopping on stream and chatting with you guys. So it makes sense for me. Is NQ pulling down too? NQ is holding at VWAP right now. I'll catch up on the chat in a bit here, but because we're just getting a little bit of follow through here, surprisingly. I was really thinking that we'd actually hold that area. It looks like we're moving. Pretty solid short already since then. What is that? 15-point move from entry. Pretty banging, man. Hey, Sudeep, you got the 2-hour gold trade. Let's go. Way to go, man. Nice job, Eric. What's going on, Toxic? I'm not this guy there, but followed Jake for a while, but Jake and his team's got some. Hey, nice. Draw a trend line from Asia low to 29,296. Do we think, oh, you're talking about trend lines right now. Okay. You're asking me, again, I think that's always going to be a speculative thought. I think this is a very speculative thought. I mean, you can. Technically speaking, we already spiked beneath it. If you were saying that we should be respecting wicks, technically speaking, using the lows, this is where it would be, right? 1, 2, and our next tap is later on still. So hard to say, man. Hard to say. Depends on how you draw your trend lines. So Samar, I understand I undersize B and A game trades, but when it comes to A plus trader, I oversize. But most of the time, price tries to fake out, hit my stop loss, and move towards any anticipated direction. I think there's a lot for you to look in, right? Like I think that sometimes, like, I guess I'm kind of curious too. Like, how do you define a B and A plus setup? If an A plus setup is such an A plus setup, why does it not work out as well for you? Right? Like I'm almost kind of curious. And again, when we size up, the size still has to be like the sizing your trade is a big component of trading. So if you are sizing up on your A plus setups, are you potentially oversizing as well? Like in the sense of where like it, like you're probably doing more than you probably should be, and you're not leaving yourself enough room for you to do anything else different. I feel like scalping along on GC, but I feel like that's really ballsy right now. Probably not a good idea. I'm not gonna do that. But anyways, that's kind of my thoughts. Yeah, you notice the Akatsuki, the Akatsuki part of the chair, right? Yeah, I'm a big if you've been following me for long, you'll know my old trade name used to be Uchiha Trades. I'm a big Naruto nerd. I mean, I don't watch it anymore because I watched that growing up in high school, but Josh, hey, no problem, man. I'm dedicated. What can I say? Last week I was up 3%, but Friday I lost more of it trying to oversize on gold longs. I mean, I don't know, man. I guess like, you know, any experienced trader will talk about, dynamic bet sizing, which refers to the fact that when you know your edge, you double down on that edge. The problem is that I think that when you're still learning, you might not know necessarily what that is just yet. So I don't know how much experience and background you have because again, there's just so many things to dive into. This is the reason why I want to do one-on-ones with student. There's so much to unpack. And anybody, I know some of the guys on the stream right now are from that know as well, is that there's just so much to go over. So it's hard for me to be able to just kind of get a sense from a few questions, just because there's so much in that in itself, right? But I would say that if you haven't established a true expected value edge for yourself as a trader, I don't know if dynamic bet sizing too much is a good idea at this point in time, especially to your point when that can actually wipe yourself out like to that degree. It just seems kind of crazy to put yourself in that position. What do I think of NQ longs right now? I mean, I'm bullish, so I'm going to look for longs, and it looks like we're trying to support VWAP here. I just don't know if we could get follow through on that support. What are we looking at right now? Yeah, like no, I don't think so because right now this is where I'm like looking at like EMAs. This is where I'm torn, right? If I'm looking at the EMAs, I'm not naturally look at. I think that a short trade is likely going to take place here on NQ more than a long. Even though I like the bounce of VWAP, I just don't know if that's going to be enough follow through. So naturally for me, I'd probably short this. And I would try to see, like, for example, if I were to do this, I would probably put my stop loss about there, and then probably move my target about here for my first. And then again, this is where I said managing expectations, right? Because like as of right now, I do want longs because I like the way that's holding VWAP, but I don't know if we're gonna get the follow through here. So we'll see. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'll be wrong fairly quick, and I'm okay with that. Just trying to see here where the trim would be. Probably would trim over here. Actually, you know what? If I'm going to properly do this, I probably should actually do a proper one here with the NQ, which also means I will move my expectations here. Hold on. I'll get back to the chat in just a second, guys. I just got to position all this so that I can talk to you guys. Okay. Sorry, guys. Let me get back to the chat here. Good morning. Hey, Mike. What's going on, man? Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing good, man. I don't know if I saw in your story. I think you hurt yourself, right? Hope you're doing okay. What's the quickest way to calculate money per trade? Paper trade brackets work well, but I notice unless you do limit orders, the calculation is difficult when trading different tickers. Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why I don't trade too many tickers either. I stick to the NQ and I stick to gold just because I know exactly what it's worth, right? Like one mini on 15 points is $300. One mini on 3 points for gold is $300. Like it's easier for me to just do it that way. So that's why I do what I do. Thank you, Cole. So it was all four of those outbrooks by so reading price bar by bar is technically the original book, Joshin. So the three books that I have is technically the modern rendition of that original book. So if you read the original, you technically don't need read the other three. I just recommend the other three because it's easier. It's just an easier read. That's the reason why I recommend it. I'm thinking to myself that I probably shouldn't even be bothering with trimming actually. Expectations and all. I'll keep it this way. Keep it as 1R. Yeah, anyways, there's that. What's going on, Luco? Oh, Ink Trading. You like Naruto too? Yeah, man, I could like talk about that stuff forever. Oh, you're using trend lines from body. I mean, sure, I guess you could look at it that way. I don't usually use trend line from body. I usually generally would look at it from a wick perspective. But I guess it depends if you're using smaller time frames too. Mike, are you in a short on gold or NQ? Because that gold short was clean. Why do you guys have SPY and QQQ and futures based watch list? You got them there for option plays. Don't they usually follow ES and NQ not lead it? I have them there because like when I do trade options, it's just there. I don't have a futures list and I don't have an options list. I just have a list. And that list just covers a select few names. I'm not the type of trader that hops on multiple different kinds of names at the same time. When I used to trade options, I traded basically SPX and Tesla, and that was pretty much it. Just like when I trade futures now, I only trade NQ and I trade gold. I don't trade anything else. Baljeet, your longs off the VWAP makes sense. It's a very valid reason, to be honest. I personally don't even need my stop to be this high, to be honest. To invalidate my trade, my stop probably should be lower than that. But I want to be able to talk to you guys too, so I don't want to keep looking at the chart over and over and over again. Using levels, I'm surprised you don't use SMT. I know it's ICT concept, but one of all the stuff I used to study would say it works great. It cracks the correlation, so you would use silver for gold. Yeah, I don't even know what SMT is. Yeah, I hear this a lot. I mean, there's a lot of successful ICT traders, right? So I mean, I have no issue with it. It's one of those things where like over the years I've already developed my favor to what I like. So I don't look for more per se anymore. Just because I'm very comfortable with where I am as a trader with what I look for in the market as well. So testing this level and channel down here on gold. I like that play. Longs also have tried oil that gaps up. Quick short scalp. How are you? How was the Edmonton trip? Thanks, Cam. Yeah, it was good, man. It was good. It was fast. It was a day trip, man. I flew in and I flew out. I was like, same person that dropped me off picked me up as well. So just yeah, it literally felt like a blink of an eye. My entire trip was gone already, just like that. Mike, okay, you're shorting NQ with me as well. Got it. Use for golf is the ball marker I use for golf is also an Akatsuki metal clip. Really? Well, I guess I should probably show you guys this too then. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it on the camera on stream actually. This is actually, so long story short, the wedding ring I had from years ago, obviously I've gained weight, so I can't fit them anymore. So I actually bought 2 rings as replacements for those wedding rings. And so one of them is actually this. I don't know if you can see that. This is the Akatsuki cloud. That's what that is. So that's like one of the wedding rings that I have. And then the other one is actually from Dragon Ball Z. This is my gold ring. If you guys can see, it's actually probably pretty hard to see the print actually now that I think about it because of the light and everything. But there is a print there. Yeah, you can't see. It's too blurry. But that's my Dragon Ball Z gold ring. Do I use gamma? I don't personally. Again, I keep my things fairly simple for what I got, so 1.5x. I have to, man. How else do I keep up with the chat, right, guy? Hey, man, ink trading. If it works for you, man, that's all that really matters in the end of the day. So that's good, man. If there's a bear move to happen on NQ, I need that to happen now. I need it to happen now because it from a bar by bar perspective, it's important to me that that move happens. So we have about 25 seconds left. Let's move NQ. If you don't break below now, I don't think my trade's going to work out. Come on, let's push. This is the moment of truth. I need us to close beneath the VWAP on this 5-minute candle. 10 seconds. Come on. Come on, NQ. I don't like the fact that we're holding here. Yeah, I don't like the fact that we're holding here. I might get stopped out. I am going to move. I think based on the way that's looking right now, I probably will move my stop loss down, to be honest, just because I don't like the way that we're forming here. So instead of a 30-point risk, I'm going to shoot for only a 16.25 risk. And if ends up coming back down after coming back up here or whatever, and my original stop loss was the right stop loss, then so be it. But based on how we're moving right now, I want my stop loss there. So now this is a 2R trade if it fulfills, but we'll see. I'm so behind on anime, man. I don't even know about what DBZ you're referring to right now. Oh yeah, I probably should move that thingy here. Where's that? Yeah, thumbs up, guys. I need 200, and then we'll do a 50K giveaway, gang. There's enough viewers on here right now that we should be able to hit 200 thumbs up pretty damn quick. I do, Josh, and I know what you mean, man. I got small little trinkets everywhere. Do you know what my actually, you know what? I'm gonna show you quickly here. If you've ever seen my computer, my computer rig, this is actually my thing. Hold on. I'm gonna move my camera for just a second just to show you guys this. That is literally my visual thing on my computer rig. It's Itachi and crows. Yeah, that's my thing. Let's go, Mike. Mike, where's your TP? I didn't even ask you, actually. If you answered this question before, but I just passed 50K on TPT, how do you deal with intraday channel drawdown? Christopher, everyone asks that question. Honestly, with intraday, there's really only two ways. You either go down to small size micros and hold for those larger moves, or you have to have large size and you have to scalp your way through. Like, that's honestly, in my opinion, the only way. Any other way is just tough. But I mean, the beautiful thing right now, though, Christopher, is that we are in NQ trending markets. So you do have the ability to actually ride and move up with intraday trailing right now. So just depends on the entry. That's the reason why I think that if you can patiently wait, you'll be able to kind of get that solid entry in on the New York session. Yeah, I'm good with where my stop loss is, man. Like that makes the most sense for me right now. After that push, I'm like, oh, if that 5-minute candle would have closed beneath VWAP, I would have felt a lot better. I don't like where we held there. I actually think that because of that, it's probably going to stop me out now. But I'm one of those people that once I've released the bullet of my in the chamber, I'm not gonna micromanage this trade, so I'm gonna leave it as is. But sorry, what did I lose during the chat? Was 332 the sentimental price, or am I seeing that wrong? Was 332 the settlement price? Settlement price? I don't even know what that means. Sorry, you might have to educate me on what that means. I have no idea what that means. Go marry Goku then. Yeah. I haven't watched Dragon Ball Z was what I grew up on. That was the original anime that I really enjoyed as a child. Oh, Mike, no, that's not. Joshin is someone else. Joshin is someone else. The Josh you're thinking of, Mike, is actually Nomad. Nomad Josh. He's not on right now. At least I don't think he is. You want the tour of my kitchen? No. My kitchen is nothing sexy, okay? We got nothing to show there. Your price target's 304. Okay. Yeah, your price target, honestly, Mike, is probably going to be one that will hit a lot easier than mine. My desktop spec, Javier, you know what? I'm actually I'll probably post it on my story right now, actually. I'll post it on my story because I know people have asked me this before too. Where's my computer specs here? Give me 1 second, guys. I actually had put it together because someone had asked me before what my build was, and I posted it. So I will post it here on Instagram. Give me 1 second. There you go. I just shared it on my Instagram, so I'll drop it there as well. That's the computer build setup. That's in my story right now. Thanks, Kamya. your PC from Custom Lux? No, actually, my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law are both in IT in different companies. And so I just gave them a budget and I said, go build me a computer, please, whatever you recommend. And they built this for me. Is there any account that does not have limit 6-time payout? Not that I know of. Not that I know of. I think most prop firms have some sort of a limit just because like that's how they obviously ensure that they don't get like farmed, right? Sim farm, I think is what they call it. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I'm a big Naruto fan, man. I like you'll find that as a person, when I'm passionate about something, I get pretty obsessed over it. And that's how I am with my career. Trading, my career, my hobbies. When I'm passionate, I'm passionate. Like a lot of people don't know this about me, but I can play the piano, but I don't know how to read notes. So if you told me to like read notes or anything like that, I have no idea how to do that. I actually play music on piano by hearing. And it started because when I was in high school, I used to listen to music from like, like R&B music from like Neo or like anime music from like Naruto. And it just got me so passionate. Like I want to learn how to play these songs. And so I literally just sat in front of my electronic keyboard at the time. And I would just keep playing tunes over and over and over again until I could figure out how to play the song. Now I actually, as I grew older, I invested in a U1 Yamaha upright piano. So I have that at home. But yeah, anyways, whenever I'm passionate about something, man, I go all in on it. Is my network lagging for you guys? I noticed that someone said that they're asking if the network is okay or not. Yeah, that GC long was not a bad call, to be honest. Like it literally tested the level and channel. That was a good long on GC right there. Am I in China? Absolutely not. I'm on this side of the world, the Western Hemisphere. I'm in Vancouver, Canada. Yeah, VWAP doesn't want to give it up. So and that's okay. This is the reason why I'm adjusting my stop loss, because I'm like, you know what? I don't need that wide of a range for me to figure out whether this is gonna work for me or not. We didn't get the follow through that I wanted. And so we always talk about this, right? And it's like if what's supposed to happen doesn't, then that's a clue in itself, right? And so we didn't get the follow through. So I honestly, if this stops up, then it is what it is. You might need to close a big up push is coming. I'm okay with it. I don't micromanage my trades, my man. I keep them as is. If it stops me out, it stops me out. I'm good with it. I can bet by what you're doing, you blow account on a daily basis. For me, no, I don't actually. Anyone who knows that I trade, I definitely do not blow accounts. Not that often. I do blow them like any other trader would, but I don't blow them often. If you've been following my journey for long enough, you'll know my track record. You're copy trading 5 accounts, so I'm not looking for the big moves at the moment. Even my stop loss. Yeah, that's totally fair, dude. What do I think about last 3 weeks price action? I talked about that a little early on in the stream, so you could probably like scroll back from the stream and take a look at that. But I did talk about the NQ and gold already. And Luca Futures, if yeah, if you're passionate, you'll find a way. You know my Instagram is there. All right, heading off to bed now. Should be here for a good man. Have a good night, Josh, and take care, man. Yeah, Instagram's right there. Are all your streams free? Yeah, we're Project 365. So there's 5 of us that host this. And so basically we are on stream 10 hours a day, all the time. Yeah, that GC long was solid. That was a solid trade. I mean, we talked about that, right? We said that if gold was going to break beneath, that we would look for a move down towards this area, right? So it's nice that we're having a nice bounce here. So anyone who caught the longs off this area, congratulations, man. That was a solid trade. TDH, I know what you're saying. Just so you know, in terms of building expected value, if you constantly micromanage your trade just because you see price move in a certain way, you'll never truly understand your expected value, because it's hard to gauge that if you're constantly micromanaging your trades. That's why I say that I'm okay. Like when you risk a trade, that's kind of the point of it, right? You're risking it because it's part of the game plan that you trade. So again, to each their own. I mean, if you like to micromanage your trades, that's completely up to you. If it works for you, that's all that really matters, right? I think that this is so important too, because when you guys are like on social media and you guys see so many different traders that are showing all these payouts and all these type of things, you never really know what's happening. You never really know what makes up the success for that trader, whatever that may mean, right? So I think that a lot of times, if you can find a niche and an edge for yourself, stick with it, right? Someone might come to you and say, hey, SMT is better, or someone might come to you and say, hey, the orb strategy is like the God strategy, whatever it may be, man. Like, do what makes the most sense for you, and that what really matters. Because in the end of the day, no one's taking the trades for you. You're taking the trade. So if you can't manage your psychology, if you can't manage your trade, then it really truly just means nothing, right? So just food for thought for you guys. What's going on, Gavin? Good to see you in here, man. Yeah. But in my system of trading, I will not short at the level you get in now. Yeah, 100%. As long as it makes sense to you, man. That's all that matters, dude. I had a trade that I could easily hold to all time, but I cut because micromanagement at the end was right. So hard to trust in the trade sometimes. Yep. I know. That literally that's what I'm talking about though, right? It's tough, but you got to accept the risk. That's how you make it, right? If you can't, you're just going to find that you won't be sustainable. And just remember, right? I talk to traders all the time too, and like the students that I work with, there are some people who find success on year one. And the problem with that is that just because they're successful in year one doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be successful long term, right? I talk a lot about this in business, in career growth, and personal development as well. Anybody who tells you that, hey, you know what, you're not capable of this, or this is not a good idea, whatever it may be, look, they're just telling you what they think of their capabilities, not yours, right? In the end of the day, if you have confidence in who you are as a person and what you do in the markets, no one's going to be able to tell you otherwise. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like Jake. I know that on his streams, there's been a couple times where I've seen like, people hop in there and be like, Jake, do you even know how to trade? And I'm like, you're literally saying that to a trader who's been trading for 8+ years, who has literally made 7 figures over and over and over again. So it's kind of like, do you think he's going to care if someone says like, hey, you shouldn't trade that way? Because he's found success doing so, right? So it's important that for us, like for each of you guys are going to have different styles of trading. And what's most important is that it works for you and that it doesn't tilt you. Because I used to make the mistake a lot of times when I was learning in my journey. I was hopping from strategy to strategy so often because every single time I took a loss or every single time I had a tough day, I would look somewhere and be like, oh, hey, should I try that strategy because I had a bad day today or I had a bad week this week, right? When in reality, it's like, okay, well, how are you ever going to find consistency if that's what you're going to do, right? So I don't know, just my 2 cents on it, gang. It's just, I think that it's important for you guys to kind of keep that in mind. So, sorry, just kind of check up in the chat again here. Alpha Juniors, I love that, man. Hey, I hope you're shredded from that then if that's the case. In these later sessions, I will sometimes move my stop up in profit and trail, etc. Yeah, whatever works, man. 100%. Can you talk about prop account rotation? If you do it, I have one prop account and I tend to go for home runs. I fight lots of lots of successful prop traders take base hits and rotate accounts. Yeah, I mean, I think that again, so subjective, right? It really depends on how many accounts you've got going on. I think there's obviously a con to it as well. So I guess I'll touch on this topic because I feel like this topic comes up a lot, and maybe we'll get this clipped as well. In terms of like rotating accounts, so here's my thought. First and foremost, I'm assuming when someone asks that question, it means that you're not copy trading. That's probably going to be my guess, right? So if you're not copy trading and you're individually trading account, just keep in mind that there's only going to be so many trades that you're going to be able to take on the given market, right? And so if you have those accounts, don't feel like you're going to be forced to take a trade. Like, you got to make sure that you know that just because you have 4 accounts to rotate doesn't mean you have to trade all 4 of them. And I think that because prop firms have those minimum trading day rules, you might feel compelled to do so. And so that in itself is already something that you need to preface for yourself in your own trading. And then outside of that, it really comes down to how many bullets do you have in the chamber. People who've always asked me this question, which is like, with a 50K account with a $2,000 drawdown, how should I manage my risk? Well, without telling you a dollar figure, I would say ideally have 10 bullets in the chamber, assuming that hopefully you can get 10 losses back to back in order for you to blow that account. I think that's a reasonable amount of risk in my personal opinion. So for you, this kind of comes down to like, okay, does that mean it's only 1 trade per account per day? Is it 2 trades per account per day? That is completely up to you. But hopefully that kind of helps provide you a little bit of thought process on how you can manage and pivot and rotate those accounts as you see fit. Yeah, congratulations, Bulgy. Bulgy's one of the students that work with me as well. Bulgy, what's your PT? I didn't even ask you on those NQ longs. What's your target, man? Yeah, Jamie Z, he gets it, man. It's true. 100%, man. Yeah. Honestly, when it comes to prop firm trading too, it's all statistics for you too, right? It's like obviously we don't want to be blowing accounts constantly, right? But again, that's why I always push for payouts, right? Like take the payout. Don't keep trying to build the buffer. It's just from my personal opinion, because as you guys saw a couple weeks back, right? Like I mean, I basically took a payout like 7 days straight back to back, and then the account blew. But who cares? You got 7 payouts. Like that pays for like the next 50 to 80 accounts. So I just again, statistical wise, it just makes sense, right? I look like freaking right now when you got to the point that you were tilted. How do you snap out of it? It's hard for me. So I think Alpha asked a really great question. I like so when you get to the point that you are tilted, how do you snap out of it? It's going to be so different for everyone. I think the first thing in everything that we do, it's kind of like when we talk about accountability, it's acknowledging it. You have to acknowledge that you're tilting. If you can't acknowledge it, you can't fix what you don't know, right? So I say this a lot in business and entrepreneurship too. It's like if you don't know that you have a problem, then how are you going to fix said problem, right? So the first thing is acknowledging what are those tilt behaviors for you, right? Do you start to breathe heavier? Do you start cycling through tickers? Like what's your nerve? What's your tick? What's your thing that makes you feel like you're about to tilt? Whatever that is, you need to acknowledge what that is, and then from there build mechanisms around it so that you can help hopefully prevent yourself from going down a rabbit hole. Like for me, I take a loss, I can shake it off. It literally does not phase me at all, right? And anybody who's been following me for long enough knows this as well, is that like I am stoic when I trade. Like it doesn't matter how many contracts, it doesn't matter what my loss is. Even if I win, I could literally make a 10K trade and I'd sit there and be like, cool, nice trade. We're done. Move on. Next one, right? And it does take a lot of experience to get to that state of trading as well. So thank you. Thanks to person who says going on. Do you think I need to take my payout one a month to max out my payout instead of every week? Honestly, go with it as you see fit, man. Go with it as you see fit. Because in the end of the day, I just wouldn't want you to be in a situation where you feel like, hey, you know what, you held on for too long and you risked it. When I trade options, and Jake talks about this a lot, is like for you, if you don't take your profits out, you're risking that capital, right? So just kind of keep that in mind. If you don't take that profit out, you're risking your capital. So it's not safe. So I always recommend is that take the payout, take the profits. If you don't pay yourself, then your capital is always going to be at risk. Nice. Glad you caught that long on GC, man. Was 15 points to 20 points, but letting it ride. Okay, sounds good. Johanna, I will say if you're new to trading, take notes of everything that you're doing right now, right? Yes, people are going to have their comments of what they want in a trade, but you're the only one that's going to be accountable for the trade. So if things work, if things don't work, just make sure you note that to yourself so you understand where it went wrong. Yeah, and TD just made the same comment as me, 100%. Yeah, the market's going to always find ways to humble you guys, man. I've been trading for 5 years. I started with small caps, and I've actually been profitable since year one. But my first 2 years, I always tell people was just considered luck, because in hindsight, now, knowing what I know now, I'm like, man, was I just really throwing shit at the wall and hoping it was going to stick? But my option success came in 2024, and my futures breakout was essentially last year. So if you guys have been following the journey, you'll know. I'll post my YouTube here as well because I've already shared this before. But yeah, there you go for you guys. Just if you guys want to hop on there, take a look. But yeah, last year was a massive year for me on both futures and on options as well. Just wondering how many contracts you go on 50K on like MNQ or NQ. Again, Gavin, I kind of mentioned this earlier. I don't focus on the contracts. I focus on the dollar, the amount of dollar that you can risk, and that your contracts will equate to that. So if you can only risk $200 a day, then you have to reverse that math based on what you're trading. So if it's one mini, that's 10 points only on NQ. If it's micros, then right, if it's micros, then you'll be able to trade, three micros or five micros. But then again, that will depend on how many points that you're willing to risk on that as well. So completely up to you, man. Awesome, Johanna. Glad to hear it. Short silver. I haven't traded silver. I haven't take a look at that chart. How do you draw channels that you would later use to trade? Thanks, TD man. Appreciate it. Gold going to 4597. Look out. 4597. 4597. Okay, that's a pretty long chart. I was like, I thought that was something a lot closer. In terms of channels, so there's a lot of different ways you can draw, right? Like I chart on larger time frames, but sometimes because I'm streaming, I'll actually draw channels on smaller time frames just so that you can visualize a structure. And so this is kind of a little bit of what I mean by that, right? Like on the NQ right now, right? Like I drew this, for example, to highlight the low. Like I drew this channel just to highlight the low of the structure on the smaller time frames. In the same regard that I highlighted this to categorize the top of it as well. So as of right now, my thought process is like that's me showing you the visualization of said structure. So it depends on what you're obviously looking for when you're looking at that. Have you experimented with automated strategies? I will never go down that path, to be honest. I actually had students that came to me originally that were automating trades, and it honestly didn't work out for them. Obviously with AI, I think it's always good to leverage that data to help provide. But the way I look at it is, if you want to be a trader, you have to be able to take accountability. So if you build automation into your trading, then I mean, what kind of accountability is there, right? Then you're going to blame your system, your technology when your trades don't work out. Like, I don't know, to each their own, right? Like I think that if you think that makes sense for you, then absolutely, man. NQ longs honestly should generally be the trade, as I kind of made the comment in the earlier days, right? Earlier part of the session, sorry. We are in a bullish market, right? That's why I said if you're shorting, you have to manage your expectation with how much you're able to get out of the short. And VWAP is holding very strong for us right now. So it does look like it wants more. Levels, well, it depends. So levels, that question, right? If you're referring to the mastermind levels, that's part of the Discord. So that's not my sauce to give away. That is Rake's mastermind levels. There's also channels and AOIs and all this other stuff. All I can say in summary is that I do chart on like every single time frame though. So it really depends on what I'm looking at. But specifically levels, that's the mastermind. Thank you, Ali, for posting that in the Discord. Or sorry, in the chat box here. Options is irrefutably harder than futures. Not even a question. Options have so many things to account for. When you talk about variables like the Greeks and understanding time decay and all that stuff, there's just too much involved in options. Options is going to be some of the most lucrative things you can do. Like if you look at my success that I posted on YouTube for last year, I only traded options between, I think it was October to December. Maybe it was the half of September. I can't remember. But I only traded option for 3 to 4 months, and I made $126,000 on the market. So you got to remember that, like, yes, there's a lot of reward to it, but there's a lot of risk that comes with that as well. So I think it really just kind of depends on what makes sense. I would say that futures trading has refined my options trading. So I always would suggest that people take futures first, especially with prop firms. It's just a no-brainer, right? Just go down that path first, and then later on, after the fact, then you can always go back and trade options when you're a lot more comfortable with trading price action, right? Have I ever played chess? When I was a kid, I never followed through with it, so I don't think I'd be good at it though. I'm very tactical as a person when it comes to business, but chess, I don't know. I don't think I'm good at it. I'm not good at it. Caught maps, the comment you made there is so true. It is so true. It's like you can literally have the perfect system, so to speak, in life, whatever, call it whatever you want. But emotions just get in the way, and it just takes you away. And that's why when you make the comment, like your family could probably trade your system or whatever better than you, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they probably don't have the same emotions tied to it the way that you do, right? How do you avoid trading the start of, sorry, how do you avoid trading the start of a chop? So I think there's a lot of different ways you can look about that. Sometimes you could try to look at predetermined chop by looking at the larger time frames to see if you're in an inside bar. And if you guys heard me say that earlier already, I already said that for both NQ and gold that we were in an inside bar. If you scroll back to my gold analysis, I had made the comment that, and it probably did already make that move earlier, but I made a comment on the gold analysis exactly right there. I said that right now on the daily, we are holding in this area. I said that if we were to break the lows, we would see a move down into this area. And that's exactly what happened. So rewind this stream and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. This gold trade was already called out earlier in advance. Obviously, the trade I took was NQ, so it wasn't the best trade to take. But I want to see what we were going to get, if we were going to get follow through on NQ at all. But GC was 100% the better play and the better trade. That's why I said anyone who caught the short, congratulations. Anyone who caught the long off the channel, congratulations, because we literally talked about that earlier on. How do you mark out your Globex? Ink trading, bro. Globex is literally Globex. So Globex is, I don't know if you're aware, but that for if you're in Pacific Standard Time Zone, that's 3 p.m. So 3 p.m. is when the futures market opens, and that's Globex. That's the Globex opening. What did I do before trading? I was an entrepreneur. So my story was basically I was in the corporate world, in the restaurant industry, and then when I had kids and I didn't want to travel anymore because I moved up fairly. I don't want to say fast because that's not truly the case. I moved up fairly high in the corporate company that I was in, and I was traveling a lot. So I want to see my kids more. So I actually went the self-employed mark so that even if I was working a lot, I still wasn't traveling as much. So I've been in the restaurant industry as an entrepreneur for a very long time. So I've been in the restaurant industry for 20 years, but I've been an entrepreneur in the restaurant industry for about 5 to 6 years now. That's so for me, business acumen, strategy, all that type of stuff. Like I won't bore you guys because if you're not into business, I'm gonna put you to sleep. But that's literally my bread and butter. Trading came after, which is also kind of why my mindset is the way that it is. I don't process trading the way that probably most people who come into trading think, because this is like everything for them. And I actually talked about this on a podcast before, and so I'll say this maybe for the first time for some of you guys here. When I think about trading, I don't think of trading as an identity. Of course, be passionate, be obsessed, but it's not my identity. Why do I say that? What do I mean by that? What I'm referring to is the fact that when I lose a trade, it shouldn't ruin my day. It shouldn't affect how I treat my kids. It shouldn't affect how I treat my wife. Trading should not be doing that to you. And if it's doing that to you, then, and to be perfectly honest, I don't know how healthy that's going to be for you in the long run. Again, it is part of the emotional turmoil of trading. I'm not saying you can't feel emotion. It is 100% part of it. But I'm just saying that the reason why I'm doing this is for my family. So is it really fair for me to then, when I'm losing trades, to take it out on said family? That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, right? So I like to detach the emotions from it in that regard. And I remind myself that trading is a part of who I am. It is not who I am. I am so many things, and you are so many things, right? I am a trader. I am an entrepreneur. I am a big corporate dude, career dude. I'm a coach, a mentor, a son. Like I'm so many things. Trading is just one of many things. So just something for you guys to kind of keep in mind. But like you could probably tell already, I spend a lot of time coaching people, and not just in trading, in all facets of life, which is kind of where all my perspectives come from, and why I'm very unfazed with a lot of the stuff that we're talking about right now. So, anyways, I feel like I rambled on for a little bit there. Oh, we had 200 thumbs up, yeah, man. I'm gonna do a giveaway for you guys, but can't really do it if I'm not there yet. How useful do you consider Bookmap? I've never used Bookmap, but I hear it's quite helpful, to be honest. If you're in our Rake Discord already, Joel is the Bookmap guy, and he posts about it all the time. So I can't speak to it because I don't use it. Just took a 10-point scalp. It's very hard for me to hold the trades for long. If it's my trade, I would close it soon. If someone else trade, I would hold it. How to overcome this? It's about understanding your statistical edge as a trader. I think that if you knew your strategy, if you knew your edge, you wouldn't worry about it. Just kind of like earlier, right? Like I took my trade and I'm like, I made the comment on my NQ shorts earlier, right? I'm like, if we don't get this 5-minute bar follow through, it's probably going to stop me out. I literally made that comment earlier. And what did it do? It stopped me out. And you could say, Alan, well, if you knew that was going to happen, why didn't you just move your stop loss? Well, I mean, I did. I moved it down by 15 points. So I risked 15 instead of 30 points, right? But however, though, I don't want to micromanage it, because when I entered the trade, there was a reason why I wanted it, and it didn't work out. So I have to accept that risk. If I'm constantly micromanaging it, I'm going to constantly skew my expected value. I didn't make my high 6-figure, near 7-figure payout last year by micromanaging my trades, right? I had to be able to see my plans out. That's how I got there. So anyways, just feel like I'm rambling again. So, did you major in anything in college? No. Long story short, Gavin, I kind of talked about this on one of the streams, but I don't want to go on to it too much here. I was actually, after high school, I just went straight into work. I grew up very poor. My mom has mental illness, still does. She will have it for the rest of her life. It's not curable. She raised my sister and I as a single mother. We had no money. We grew up with basically, like, I would have no dinners on some nights. Like, that's just, wore the same clothes to school 5 days a week. Like, that was me growing up. So school was a privilege that I could not afford. And no, for all those people out there that said, why didn't you just get a loan? When you're worrying about whether or not you're gonna have dinner, getting a bank loan is not the next thing you're gonna think about. You're just trying to survive. So for me, it just didn't make sense to. So that's the reason why for me, I don't crap on institutional education. But for those who are struggling in school, those who are not, maybe not the greatest in school, I would say don't lose hope. There are so many things for you to be successful in and find success in today's world, in this modern age. I think that if you have the will, the passion, and again, someone made the comment referencing my quote that I had on my Instagram, which is, if you're passionate, you will find a way. Otherwise, you'll find an excuse, right? So, no, I definitely did not take college. Just reading through the chat. Thank you, Gavin. I appreciate that. I'm doing the same. So, did not. I take it out on my friends. You kind of just Alpha, you take it on your friends. Hopefully, it's just a little bit of verbal abuse, not physical abuse. Because if you're jacked, man, that's gonna be suck. Station, and she couldn't even tell if I had bad day. That hit me hard. Yeah, Mike, you get it. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's just not a good feeling. It's like when you meet up with your significant other and they look at you like, why is your face so cold? You all right? And if they've known you for long enough, they already know. They're like, oh shit, you probably had a bad day in the market. Which again, it's part of life. I don't want to sit here and make it sound like you guys have to be robotic. I'm not saying that. I'm just don't forget why you're doing this, man. Like, don't take it on your loved ones. Like, if that's happening, man, that's like working at a dead end job or something like that you're really upset about, and coming home and taking out on your family. It's just not fair. I'm hoping that you're grinding because you're grinding for your family. So don't take it out on the ones you love. Otherwise, it's just completely backwards if you think about it, right? Yeah, I'm a price action trader. Bar by bar, little bum there. Bar by bar. I just talked about it earlier, actually. Al Brooks. Those are the books that I would recommend, man. Do you want your kids to trade or go to college? I want them to do whatever they're passionate about. I will not tell my kids what they want to do. I know that old school Asian wise, old school Asians would probably kind of project their future onto their children. I'm doing everything that I can so that they can have a choice. I would say that as long as they're passionate about what they do, that's all that matters. If my daughter said that, hey, you know what, I want to paint for a living, I know, probably not a great idea, but I'm not going to be the one who tell her that. I'm going to tell her the risk to reward in everything you do, but I will support them 100% of the way. That's just going to be my perspective on things. If they want to go to school, sure. If they don't, I don't care. Like, if anything, I think that's probably going to put it's probably going to lighten the load of pressure on them, telling them that their dad did not go to college and that he was still able to be as successful as he is. So I'm hoping that pressure is actually off of them, that if they go to college or they go to university, they're going because they want to go, not because they're told to go. So I don't know, that's my perspective. But in the same way, I wouldn't make them trade either. Even though my kid's picking up on a lot of lingo, I would not force them to trade. How young did I start trading? Not young at all, man. I'm probably older than most of the influencers in the space. I started when I was 29 when I started trading. So I was different time. What's the point of that, Raj? Sorry, was that question for me? What's the point of that? You're in long off the VWAP. I mean, we might just range, Mike. I think that's the problem here. We might just range. That's like, if you're willing to hold and move your stop loss down, then I would obviously shoot for all-time highs here. But I don't think we're gonna get follow through right now. Like, it's probably not gonna get follow through until London Open. So, do you still use Top Step? Just curious because of all the changes recently. I still have my accounts, but I don't really touch them anymore. As far as priority goes, I don't prioritize those props as much. Zakev Games. I mean, technically, our last name is pretty. It's pretty common, actually. I would say in the Asian culture. So, but yes, yeah. Why put your kids through trading? Why would you torment them? Why didn't I start trading earlier? I was a business I was business first. Again, when you're growing up and you don't have a lot, you're looking to drive the thing that's going to secure your future, right? You're not going to risk, you're not going to gamble. Like, so for me, like building my career out, building my business, that was number one priority. I knew about trading, but I was not going to do it. I was a long-term investor. Like my long-term investing portfolio is like up 150%, up 200%, right? Like that's where it's doing well. I didn't day trade because for me, building my career was more important. I'm kind of opposite in a lot of ways. I know there's a lot of traders in the space, and it's not to say that they're wrong because again, to each their own, right? Whatever works for you. I would not just trade without having some sort of income. I think psychology wise, it makes it that much harder for you. It's already hard enough to trade. There are 1,000 reasons why trading is so difficult in the mentals. To say that your trading is literally the only thing that's going to pay your bills, I mean, that's a lot. Maybe if you're single, it's a little bit different. But if you got a wife, you got kids, you got mom, grandma, like you got people to take care of, that's a lot of pressure to put onto trading. So even though I've had the success I don't think I would ever leave my entrepreneurial world just to trade. If anything, I actually find entrepreneurship far more fulfilling than trading. Trading is just making money for me in the end of the day, right? It's not something that I would be like, oh my God, I'm making such a big difference in the world. Which is the reason why I coach a lot too, because that's at least that's making a difference. When I coach another trader and a trader's successful, that's helping someone. But if I'm just making money in the market, that's not helping anyone. Like I don't see how that's helping anyone. Like I do help a lot of family. I donate to charities. Those are things I do, but it's just not the same. If I know it's hard to explain it, but if you've been in my position, if you've watched my other streams, if you heard me say the things I've heard, you'll understand where I'm coming from when I make these comments. I'm in the right market period to be chatting with the group though, TD, right? I'm not in New York where you're getting 100% moves in 2 minutes. Yeah, we need the squeeze. Just wondering, are you still a realtor? Or do you just trade? I'm not a realtor at all, Gavin. I've never been a realtor. If you saw my Instagram, that was actually my student. My student's the realtor. He's the one that I coached and helped him get his 84K payout last year. Have a good night, Lil. People think if they started earlier, they're gonna make it 100%. Bro. Trading needs a certain level of maturity, knowing about it a lot in life. Yeah, man, 100%. Trading is not linear, man. It's not like a job where like you're working for like a union job where like, oh, if you work 20 years, you'll get here, or 30 years, you get here. Nah, man, you could trade for 30 years and literally be a failure for all 30 years. It doesn't matter. So hey, don't be sorry at all, man. Don't be sorry at all. It's all good. I don't expect you guys to know everything about me. Do you remember when I made the comment earlier that I said if I just left my stop loss, it might work still? Watch this happen. It's gonna prove me. Like, Alan, this is exactly why you don't move your stop loss. We'll see what happens in NQ. If you guys remember, right, my trade set up earlier was this. This was my trade earlier. So we'll see what happens. On gold's retracing nicely here. So yeah, man, whoever caught this bounce, man, beautiful trade on gold tonight. Got your loose. Oh, Samir, how's it going? No, man. I know I've been posting on Instagram. I'm literally still. So for those who don't know, I have 3 Lucid Max right now pending live, and I have 1 Lucid Max that literally I just need to flip a micro tomorrow, and it's done as well. So I'll have 4 accounts pending live moving. Not yet. I'm still waiting. I'll update you guys when it officially happens. You took 18 points on that M&Q? Right on, Buljeet. Thanks, man. Thanks, ICG Trader. I mean, it's why we do it, man. It's so hard. I mean, I know that the social world is feeding you this life or whatever it is. I don't know, man. I can't stress it enough. There's more to life than just money. There is. This is coming from a guy who struggled growing up, right? Like your perspective changes. Your perspective changes. I rather take care of loved ones. I rather spend time with loved ones. You'll never get that back, right? So it's a balance of the both things, right? You gotta hustle, you gotta be passionate, you gotta put in the work, right? And then you also gotta know when to take the step back and spend time with the fam, right? So You're holding gold for a big ripper, 48.50. I don't know if you're being serious or not. That's a pretty big move. Best of luck, my dude. Best of luck. How many props do you have? I'm capped out, Sir Asian Bomba. I am capped out with a lot of prop firms, actually. The next one I'm going to start with is Funded Next. I was actually trying to create an account while I was talking to you guys, but it's too much to multitask, so I might have to do this off stream. But so right now, I only trade Take Profit Trader. I still have Top Step. I don't really touch that much. And my Lucid Maxes that I have right now. But I will be kind of jumping into Funded Next as the next prop firm that I'm going to trade with to see how they're like. Because I've heard a lot of good things about them, so I'm going to give them a shot. So if you guys haven't tried Funded Next as well, it's right up above there as well for you guys. Their rapid plans are pretty solid. So minimum rule is not short of an uptrend, no matter it has looked so good or not. Yeah, just play the trend, man. Trade the trend. But I'm holding 2. I swing traded. Oh, if you're swing trading ASP, 100%. That's a very different conversation. I thought you were holding for 48.50 today, like in this session. I was gonna be like, okay, good luck, bro. You can see first. Oh, it's 7 to 10 days, eh? Okay, good to know. Any warnings about Canadians going live? I've been getting payouts and have heard some companies can't move us live. Hey, Lemix, absolutely, you are 100% right. Most prop firms will not be able to move you live. The only province in Canada that can move live is Ontario. It's due to like policies or something like that. I'm not really too sure what it is. Some prop firms might allow you to move live using things like Rhythmic Pro, and I'm telling you from experience, it sucks. I was live with Funded Futures Family because they created an option for me, which I was very grateful for, to help me move live. And when I moved live, the Rhythmic Pro latency was so bad. Like I would click on buttons and it wouldn't fill till like 3 seconds later, and it was just such a bad experience that I personally just don't recommend it. So yeah, so as of right now, I just look at it as there's no live. That's actually the reason why I like Take Profit Trader, because I Take Profit Trader is the closest thing to live. Like it's the closest thing to it, right? And if you can make it to TPT Pro Plus, then that's even better. Then you'll actually be able to get, you'll be able to take advantage of the fact that you're live in the markets, because that's their version of live. So Take Profit Trader Pro has been able to provide this. So I think Take Profit's actually the only prop firm that would allow us to be able to do that. So if you're in Canada, TPT is the name of the game. So code RT, code RAKE, that's 40% off. No activation fees, man. Can't complain. I don't think TPT has a cap, to be honest. Not that I know of. Thank you, ICT Trader. Much love, man. Much love. It's why I love doing this. That's why I love doing this. How long I've been trading? 5 years. 5 years. You might have to pull back the stream here. I answered that question 3 times already. I don't want to keep repeating it for the guys who've been sitting here for a bit, but I've been trading for 5 years. You think we'll finally get a pullback on the higher time first Rand Q? I mean, I think we're all waiting for that, but I wouldn't hold my breath on it. Yeah, Rhythmic is really bad. So TDH knows what I'm talking about. You obviously went through the same experience that I did. Mike, that's what I'm talking about, man. Like, you know what? It's literally happening right now. This is proving my point. It's like, Alan, I'm going to punish you for moving your stop loss. You know better than that. You don't move your stop losses. Why did you move it this time? Bam. I'm feeling the pain now, but it's all good. It's part of the game. I'm a student in the U.S., originally from Canada. I have a U.S. address, but I'm graduating student and going back to Canada. Any idea how that'll affect my ability to go live? I have no idea. I mean, I think where your home address is going to affect you. So if you move, like, let's just say you move live and then you move to Canada afterwards, I don't know how the fine print works. I'd imagine that you would have to forfeit your rights to trade, because otherwise you're technically doing it illegally. At least that's, I don't know. Don't quote me, because I have no idea how that works. Going to live is not bad. It is not. Okay, it really just depends in the end of the day. There are some prop firms that have amazing live programs, like Lucid. If you can move live with them, their plans are amazing, right? Like, I wasn't able to move live during the eval sim funded phase and all that stuff, just because of the way that all the things ended up functioning, right? But their live is amazing, because you can actually get like 5 accounts, and then I can't remember what it was anymore, but like if you hit like their big profit target, then they also give you a bonus profit target on top of it. Like there's all these little nuances, right? So Live isn't bad. You just got to recognize that when you move live, you're giving up leverage and you're also paying for fees and all that type of stuff too. And you're getting taxed as a professional trader. Like there's a lot of things you have to account for. And these are things that you should talk to your accountant for to get the best out of it. What's the pros of going live? Better profit splits, I would imagine usually. Like with Take Profit Trader Pro, like Pro Plus. So when you're in Take Profit Trader Pro, it's 80-20 split. But if you're Pro Plus, it's 90-10 split. So it's a better split. And actually, when you go Pro Plus, there's also no intraday trailing drawdown out of the gates, just because you've already kind of gone through all of that. So yeah. So TPT prop payments, you can use Wise. That's what I use. Oh, Mike, are you waiting as well still? Mike, hit my DMs, man. Let's chat about that. Maybe I can see what I can help you with, because that's weird. That's a very long time. Going live is the ultimate goal, especially if the firm gives you multiple accounts. Yeah, 100%. Is there a fee to go live? It's not a fee. You just have you're just paying you're paying your own trading fees, like your brokerage fees and stuff like that. You're paying that yourself. Is essentially what that is. Someone needs to start teaching people how to set themselves up on an entity to trade with whoever they see fit. Yeah, I mean, this is where I talk about like with accountants. I don't want to give any of this advice on stream because it's I don't want to be liable for any of this stuff. Like you guys have to reach out to your accountants, reach out to your lawyer. But I'll tell you this thing. I never realized how important it was to have a great lawyer and a great accountant. And when I say great, I don't mean just a guy who's going to charge you an arm and a leg to give you advice. Like they almost need to have talk to each other well. Like for me, my accountants and my lawyers, I can pick up the phone, call them, have a chat, and they're not going to give me this whole, oh, hey, Alan, you know what? You should, I'm going to have to charge you for this call, you know, because we spoke about it for 15 minutes. Like my lawyer and my accountants they're like friends, basically. I pick up the phone and we shoot the shits. And so that's the relationship you almost kind of be able to want. And you obviously want them to be capable, but get a good accountant, get a good lawyer. That's probably a good advice for anyone who's trying to build up their business or build into bigger things in life. Gavin, that's fair. Just be wary, right? Like, just make sure you do right by yourself. You don't want to risk so much to the point that you lose what you've got in your accounts. Hey, Jerson, let's go. Nice job, man. I'm so happy for you, man. Way to go. That's freaking awesome. Jerson here just passed 5 accounts with Lucid. Right on. Hey, Lil Melty. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the short trade for the NQ, we're ranging, right? So when you're in the middle of the range, you can only expect so much. You have a reason to go long, you have a reason to go short. Really, to be honest, longs are more favorable than shorts just because of larger time frames. But I just felt that we had reason to really test Globex before we move back higher again, especially with Globex around the corner. If I had just kept my original stop loss, I mean, this trade honestly might work out, but it is what it is. It's all good, man. Like I said, it's part of the game. Yeah, Mike. 100% TD, 100%. You have 2 TPT Pro accounts. I recently passed. I've not gone one payout after 1 year of trading. Send help. Oh, man. Hey, man, you know what? I know it's tough when you're like going through the ringer and like you're not there yet. But that Nike swoosh that Jake talks about a lot, man, it's like the best feeling at all when it finally hits. Like last year was that moment where I'm like, oh, thank goodness I stuck it through because honestly, I last year was just like a pinch yourself type of year where you're like, man, was this real? Did I really just accomplish this? So FOMO, emotions, all that, Ivan, that all comes from it building expected value and really understanding yourself as a trader. When are you looking long? When are you longing here? On NQ, I'd probably want to wait for us to at least tag Globex to see if we can offer a long. I mean, if we're talking about trend line as well, as price develops here, the trend line might actually coincide with Globex, which might give us a double the reason why a long there might be good. At the beginning of a journey, is it worth it to buy a program and a course? Course, I don't know so much because I think there's a lot of content out there in the space already. I mean, think about this. Like Muscle, you're hopping on our streams right now. Like we're talking trading like literally every day, 10 hours a day, all year long. Like that's a lot of solid information already there in itself. I think what's valuable, to be honest, is finding someone that can work with you. And that's actually the reason why when a lot of people ask me like, hey Alan, can you like Because when I talk about coaching, they'll be like, hey, you know what? Can you just sell me your course so that you could just sell me your system? Because that way it's more affordable for me. I don't want to do that. Not because it's of the affordability aspect, because I just know, and I've seen it enough times, people will take these education, I'll just call it, right? And then they will just struggle after the fact because there's no one to guide them. Because you got to remember that the curriculum and the education provided by these people or institutions for that matter, they're taught in a certain way, but that might not connect with you. That might not correlate with you the same. So I personally think it's more valuable having a coach and a mentor work with you, which is why when I started off with my education last year, which was like, I think it was May or July or June, I started off as a mentorship, not just a course, because it just makes more sense that way. Because it's like going to the gym. I think everyone here, for the most part, knows how to like lift a dumbbell or like bench a bar. Are you doing it properly? Probably not. Are you breathing properly? Probably not. Are you eating properly? Probably not. And those are the things where I'm saying the difference between like just getting into a course or program versus actually having someone who's going to work with you, because working with you is far more important than just class in itself. So but to each their own. I think that sometimes people might feel like they need that like, that class might be the thing that they prefer, and that's totally fine too. The way I look at it in life in general is that if you want to learn something, learn from someone who's already done it, right? Like that's like in the corporate world and the entrepreneur world. Would you go to a friend who's never started a business before and ask them for business advice? Or would you go to an entrepreneur who's already made it, right? So that's just my 2 cents. It's just tough because in the social media space, it's so hard to know who to trust and who not to trust, which is what makes it so difficult. And Mike, TP is gonna hit soon, and this is it. This is the FOMO stuff that gets people, by the way. um, bro, been funded so many times with no payout. The psychology just kills me in the funded for some reason. Yeah, man. I mean, I think I can't speak for why you're probably feeling that, but it is definitely very tough because I think you just know there's so much more on the line, right? So yeah. See, Joseph made the comment too. Buying courses, yeah. I mean, learning any kind of education is gonna help. I should probably let me backtrack that. Not any education. Education will help, right? But what's hard about this is that when you don't have someone that can coach you, it's like I always use the gym reference because it honestly is the perfect analogy where it's like if the person at the gym, that trainer, is going to be the one who kicks your ass. When you go to the gym, you don't feel motivated. He's the guy who's going to be like, get off your ass, let's get going, right? And call you on your shit. Where if you don't have that, it's very easy for you to fall into your bad habits, especially as a trader, right? So any I don't want to say it. Like I mean, to your comment question, Muscle, if someone says I can help you get funded, I think that's like you're selling a pipe dream. I think that this is one of those things where you can't tell someone that I can for sure get you to a certain place because you don't know that. You don't know what that type of person is. Like, what if someone comes to me and says, "Hey, you know what? I wanna lose weight and I want to work out at the gym." And you're gonna promise them that you're gonna help them lose weight? How do you know what kind of issues? What if they have a disease that they literally can't lose weight? What if they have bone density issues? Like there's so many factors you don't know. I think that's just a sales pitch, to be perfectly honest, Muscle. That's again my opinion, and I apologize if that like hits a nerve for some people, but it's the reason why I don't say that. I even say when I work with people, I just like, look, I can't guarantee you success. I can't. All I can really tell you is that here's what I'm going to offer you, and here's what I'm going to do with you, and hopefully that's going to be enough for you to be able to get to the other side of it all, right? So, um, yeah, size down. That's like a better works, but yeah, sizing has a lot to do with the risk as well. If you're sizing too high and you're probably having a nervous breakdown while holding a trade, that will do it. Hey, Gavin, restaurant industry. I'm in the food and beverage. So anything food and beverage is my area of expertise. I've literally in the past 5 years helped a client grow their business from like 3-4 million to over $20 million in revenue. Hey, no problem, man. No problem at all. What's gold doing right now? Oh, gold's retracing really nicely. What a retrace. So gold is coming back up there to, we're coming back up to opening print here on gold. London's about to open in 6 minutes, gang. $4,694. I'd really watch how gold reacts to this upper channel level area at 4694-ish. I'd watch how we react here at London Open. I wouldn't be a test to shorting a scalp there. I mean, VWAP could be it as well, but with London opening in 6 minutes, we have to be careful. Money has not affected me all too much, and this is probably what earlier the person TDH dude, what they made a comment on was maturity, right? Like I've been making money for a long time now, right? And not in the markets, but like in the business world of things, right? So personally, for me, when they say like people who get rich are like it changes them. I'm not really a big believer of that. I think that if a person becomes an asshole after they get rich, I mean, I think they were an asshole to begin with. You just never knew it, right? Because some of the people who are in this chat have actually known me since I was a kid, and my personality towards helping people, supporting communities, helping the less fortunate, it's always been in my DNA, and nothing's changed. Nothing's changed, right? So I think to each their own. I think that if anything, money just amplifies who you are. So if they're a dick, they probably were always a dick. And like I think I talked about this in a couple streams before as well already. Like I've always put people around me first before I put myself first, which is the reason why I always talk about this. Like, um, you know, I have not done much for myself in my life, actually. Like I've done little things here and there. Like I bought a car that I really like to drive, or I bought myself like a game or something like that over the years. I don't just like little random stuff, right? Little trinkets, right? But I haven't really done anything big for myself. I've done a lot of big things for a lot of people around me. And if you guys watched that one stream where I like poured my heart out about what I was doing, I mean, I've basically helped all my siblings get into their first home. Like that's what I mean, right? When people ask me like where did the money go, and like that I made, it's like, well, I literally supported the down payment of a home for all my siblings. So I mean, that's kind of where my thought process. What I mean, like when money doesn't change you, I easily could have taken all that money and bought a Lamborghini or a Porsche easily. Could have bought multiple of them actually, but for what? I don't know. I mean, everyone has their thing, right? It's just to each their own. Um, Thank you, TD. I appreciate it, man. Were you a guest on Master? I have no idea what that is. No, I have not been, Joseph. Now that I read your whole message. No, I have not. Money and alcohol both amplify who you are. Yeah, man. I don't need alcohol to have a good time, man. I don't need alcohol. I collect them, by the way. I don't know if anyone here is a whiskey guy, but I collect. There's two things I collect. I collect the Johnny Walker Blue Label, the Zodiacs, because I collect them purposely for the Zodiacs. I don't actually drink them. And then I collect Macallans. So I have like the Macallan Rare Cast Black and the. Anyways, I have a few different collections, but that's like I do collect them, but I don't drink at all. Not my cup of tea, or not my cup of whiskey, I should say. I was watching the stream back and I heard you say that you prefer the select over the growth account on Tradeify. Why is that? I just feel like the select is a lot easier, a lot more freedom. I think like the growths now have daily loss limits on them, right? If I remember correctly. And I hate daily loss limits, especially in eval phase. Are we at 200 likes? Oh, we are. Right on. My goal is to help my brothers fund their entire business. That's my ultimate goal. Usually fund it from. Yeah, man. Right on, Jerson. And I hope and I pray that happens for you, man. It's such an amazing feeling when you can do that. I like you're already typing that in the chat. I need to get it started first. Let me get the bot going. This is my first time testing the bot after thinking that I figured out everything now. So give me a second here. You're a drinker advocate. Thanks, man. Thanks. Okay, Cloud bot. Let me see this. Okay, Cloud bot giveaways. I will give instruction on the giveaways in a bit. Do not start spamming yet, okay? Because I need to make sure I do this right. Start a giveaway. This is how it works. Okay, I think the start. Yep. So basically, what you guys are going to type in is exclamation mark enter, and you have 5 minutes here. So exclamation mark enter is how you get started in the giveaway. Hey, it's working. The bot's working. Ron, if you're watching this later on, I did it. So you guys don't need to spam, guys. Just an FYI, you guys do not need to spam the chat. Just type it in once, and the thing will automatically get your name in there automatically. And yeah, it's gonna go on for like 5 minutes. It says 5 minutes here, right? Yeah, it says 5 minutes. So give it a bit. Once you've entered though, that's it. Make sure you give a thumbs up to the stream. So if you want to know, thumbs up to the stream, and then put this in the chat box. So type this once into the chat box to enter giveaway, and drop a thumbs up on stream as well. We'll leave that there. Okay. While you guys are doing this, by the way, and London's opening right now. I was literally gonna go grab something, but never mind. London's opening up right now. I think we're gonna get the follow through on price an hour after the move. To be honest, that's what I'm thinking. Currently on my side, it says that we have 97 people who have entered the giveaway so far. I'm going to still stay on stream. I know technically my stream is supposed to stop right now. I'm going to stay on stream for a little bit longer. I'm actually going to grab myself a slice of cake. I'm going to be right back. Okay, guys? I'll be right back. It actually looks like my wife didn't finish her cake. It doesn't look as great since it's already been like dismantled by her, but this is like the mango cake. There's like mango underneath, mango at the center, and mango on top. This thing's like banging. It is good. There's still about 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to the giveaway entering of the draw. So it will announce the winner in 2 minutes. But if you already entered, don't keep spamming. Was there a moment that really clicked for you trading where you became much more profitable? Last year was really the game-changing year. I mean, I've been profitable for a while now, but last year was just different. I don't know, man. I think market conditions play a lot of factor in that too as well. But yeah, you know what it is sometimes though? I think like once you can taste the success once, then you know it's possible. When you know it's possible, you just treat the game very differently, right? I'm not here to degen. I'm not here to like gamble it away. Like I'm in this for the longer haul, right? So food is life, man. Food is life. One of my students actually came out to visit Vancouver because they were doing a marathon last week, and I brought them out to some high-end sushi just so they can get a taste of the good life, you know. Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. I just saw that question in the chat. Strategy, risk management, everything, right? I think as a trader, learning your expected value is very, very important. Even in business, I ask the same great question, right? Like in business, when a client comes to me and says, "Hey, I want to do A, B, and C," I will always ask them some questions related to their business, and more often than not, I poke holes in their business, right? Which is kind of where things start to get moving in the right direction, because I start to help them really humble and realize that there's more to it than just that. So similar to a trader needing to understand their expected value, a business person needs to truly understand their expected value as an entrepreneur, as well as a business person and their business plans, right? Do a Macallan 18 Sherry Oak raffle. I don't know if Jake's gonna agree to that, Ken. We got 20 seconds left here before the giveaway's up. All right, so pick a winner. How does this work now? Let's see. Hey, there you go. Whoever you are, Jason0299, you have won an account. So from this point on, give me a second here. So whoever you are, you won. I'm gonna drop this here for the gang. What I need you to do is I need you to DM me on Instagram, please, and let me know, and that way we'll kind of set it up for you. I'll need some information with you because TBT is a little bit different in regards to how they do the giveaway codes. So just reach out to me on Instagram, and I will we'll get the ball rolling from there. John White, Japan is different, man. It's just a different story. Take it easy, Ali. Like John, I went to Japan a few years ago before I had kids. I'm sorry, I shouldn't even say a few years ago. It was a while ago now. I went with my wife there, and like, oh, just walking through the fish market, like just random fish on a stick, blows Vancouver out of the water, man. And Vancouver has really good sushi, so it's crazy. I would watch if gold can short, but I don't know. I like this VWAP, but I think we're gonna break this, but I don't know. We'll see. Shorting looks pretty good here, though. This is like a 2-minute double top. Maybe a low expectation scalp probably would be good for gold. What would that look like? A low expectation scalp would be like that. Yeah. 2-minute double top off VWAP. Any last questions for me, guys, before I hop off the stream, by the way? So films of greatness, first and foremost, I am not Rake, just so you're aware. Rake is an Italian man. I'm an Asian man. But just to answer your question, though, every prop firm is going to have their rules in their fine print already. And so essentially the way that it works is that you can't withdraw into your drawdown. Like most prop firms won't allow you to do that because you can't purge your account. Basically what happens is that you have to build yourself a buffer. And with a 50K account, that usually means you have to build a 2K buffer. And then you're usually allowed to withdraw anything on top of that 2K buffer is usually how it works. Some prop firms will allow you to draw into the drawdown, but no matter what, they'll say like 50% of the profits or something like that. So like if you make like 2,500 bucks, you might be able to draw $1,250 of it, which means that you only have, at that point, if you do that to yourself, you would have, yeah, only like 1,250 of drawdown left at that point. So yeah. What point do you think someone should try to get funded or take the challenge to get a funded? Yeah. Sorry. What point do you think someone should try to get funded? What do you mean by that, Muscle? Are you like are you trading? Like are you asking me like when should a trader start trading? I mean, technically speaking, you're trading evals already, right? So yeah, right, guy. I try to share when I can. Like if I'm available to do it, I will. I'll try to share as much as I can. Like if I'm on the road, obviously I can only text so much, but I do my best to. It's 54K and I cash out 2K. I assume go kind of goes to 52K and draw your own. Yeah, films. Your what you said there is correct. Muscle. This is probably what people don't realize a lot in trading. Yes, getting consistent. Yes, making money. All that's great. But what you need to do is you need to be able to be consistent. So what's most important is that you're consistent with trading. If you're not consistent with trading, as in like following your rules, following your execution, even if you're profitable, you're one trade away from like destroying yourself, right? By the way, that would have been a nice scalp trade there. Yeah, that'd be my 2 cents on it. Mike, I don't know if you're still on the stream right now, but this bugger's totally gonna hit PT. Hey, no problem at all. No problem, Jerson. Appreciate it. Well, anyways, are you still there? Oh, you're still there, Mike. Yo, man, TV's totally gonna hit. Watch this. Mike, why couldn't we just respect the plan? Why did we have to micromanage our trades? I mean, Mike's heard me say that every time. It's hard, but it is what it is. See you later, Ammo. Take it easy, man. Anywho, all right. Well, with that said, just keep an eye on what we're looking at right now, guys. Okay, because like I mentioned every time, whatever we look at right now is gonna affect how we trade the next session as well. So keep an eye on this. See how this react going into London. See how this reacts going into New York, because these spots will still be quite relevant to all of us. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. I will be back here again for the rest of the week here. Again, the pre-London. Thanks again for tuning into Project 365. And if you guys are gonna be up in the morning, tune into Mitch with the Gamma in the morning. Okay. I'll catch you guys later, man. Have a good night.